Hello and welcome everybody. As you all know, the funky, soul-y disco sound of the 70s was just like the blues, invented in Germany and then conquered Denmark and then Ireland. It never quite reached the US, unfortunately, like the blues. Anyway, this lesson is going to have two parts. First, we're going to investigate the example of We Are Family, the sound, the chords, and after that I'll show you a couple of great chords you might be interested in. Stay with me. Let's go. Enjoy. Welcome to this extraordinary lesson. Why extraordinary? Of course, because I do it. But also, there's a new sound coming in today. You know the funky elements from my funky lessons and the soul elements. You know, so a lot of syncopations, but it's on a disco beat. And we use, there are a couple of things to learn for you, like how to treat the bass, when to use such a tricky bass line and when not, what's the function of the right hand and what is the figure he's playing rhythmically. But we're just using the chords of this famous song, We Are Family, to exemplify it. Okay, it's not a tutorial on We Are Family, because the right hand in that song is basically busy playing this. So he's not playing. But we're using the chords because, first of all, we are family here. Of course, you're my family and I'm your father. And that's more fun because it's familiar and they're just great. And they exemplify the style also. Now, I play it slowly for you again, so before we talk about what is useful for you as a musician. So, and it's, imagine this, I play it. Okay, so this could be the piano accompaniment pattern for that song, but it ain't. We don't care. So, first of all, what is it harmonically speaking? Yeah, incredible, huh? It's blues. Yeah, it's blues. Can you imagine? It's the A7. You see it also in the computer display. Here. Then it's G7. And then it's D. It's the one, it's D. And it's just 5, 4, dominant, subdominant, and tonic. It's blues chords. Incredible. And then the G, sus, and the solf. Okay? So let's start with the bass line. I heard many bands where the bass, the piano player wants to do one of these, or it could be anything like whatever, something involving 16th notes and strong syncopations. And in 99%, this goes down the rabbit hole. I mean, like, you know, it goes down the gutter, basically. Why? Because they can't play it. Because if you decide to play something, you have to take into consideration two most important things. You can play it, and if you play this, you have to practice this because it's got to be tight. Because you will see, we're coming to the second reason. So you got to be fit with these fingers here, you know, that you can play. Practice these. All sorts of exercise. See, that was already not tight. You know, you got to be fit here. If the 16s are not tight, forget it. Then comes the main reason, second reason. if it's very committing to play such a bass line as a piano player. It's very committing, and you got to talk to the bass player, and either they somehow meet somewhere, or it's unisono. Unisono, is that the right word? Play the same line. Then if you play this, how did it go again? That the bass line is playing exactly the same, or he is touching your bass line. He could, for example, play that could be the bass line, or something where they are actually meeting, and that is not becoming a firework of amateurish played 16th notes. And the bass player has also got to be, has to have practiced this as well. Otherwise, forget it. So it's very, very committing to play such a dominant bass line, because you're in the area first of the bass player, and you're in the area of the rhythm section in the bottom. And if you screw that up, the whole thing screws up. Okay, so usually I recommend only do it very occasionally, only if you really own it. Okay? Then we have the right hand. And in this kind of music, you see, listen to Sister Sledge. Listen, go play the song a bit further on beyond the intro, or the Chic, or the major players from that era, and see what the piano is doing. And you will see the piano is there mainly as a sound. So the second thing I see, like amateur bands doing, is like they want to play something like this, and the piano player, he can just about play this. Why is Siri always waking up when I play A7? Is there a mystery to that? Always when I play A7 series. I don't know. Maybe they're listening to me and they're stealing my ideas. Okay. So, they can't shut up. But if you, of course there is music where the piano is much busier. Also disco music, especially like dance music like that. There is, and that's another story, maybe for another lesson. But here, the sound is a very compressed piano sound. So it's just there to provide the sound, and very occasionally, so they play a chord, and then, where were we? Yeah, like, and there's nothing else. So slightly syncopations, but the rest is just pads, as we say in hyper-professional music slang words. It's just provided, in Germany we call that the sound carpet. It's just the sound of the piano, and that creates air. You don't have to fill it. The beat has to prevail. And there's the piano provides the sound, and then there's the guitar, wing, wing, like funky guitar, very, very sparse. And you have this space that is opening up, for example, for the voice, or just for the groove to breathe. Bam, bam, ba-da, bam, da, ba, la, ba, bam. So it's just,
Everyone can see we're together as we walk on by.
Very occasionally, like one note or one line. Maximum. So just a little bit of ornamentation, and that's for many musicians is a lot to ask. It's very well arranged music to provide this special sound, and they worked a lot to get this sound. It's very hard to play rhythmic stuff without the left hand doing like something. It's easier when you have the feeling of the fingers here, giving some kind of the brain the signals of the fourth. That's harder to play something like. If I have to leave my left hand off the keyboard, I do it on my thigh. I slap on my thigh like a. much easier if the left hand is supporting this in a kind of way, you know. So what you see very often is they play the piano, but they don't move the keys very far down. And when they do, the rest is done by the sound engineer. So sometimes, if you listen closely, you will hear the left hand, but you have to listen very carefully, and you notice this very rarely. But the sound engineer is taking all the bass frequencies down, so it doesn't matter. It's not interfering with anything. You see? And if you're playing in a band, the low frequencies don't really matter. They are turned down usually because that's the bass and the drum, the kick drums section. Now what I want to say is, like, we have the sound, the G, you see, very typical for this era also, and later also in dance sound. You will have that a lot, like for example, let's first have a look. It's the G, but with the, you can call this the G, but with the 7, the 9 and the C. And what do you realize? Everybody come on, what is this? That's right, it's the F with the G in the bass, also known as G7, 9, sus4. The same thing, but it's easier to describe if we say F with a G in the bass. So it's these suspended chords. They can be resolved. I think, I'm not quite sure if in We Are Family is actually resolving it. I'm not so sure right now. And for example, listen to this. Yeah, great sound, eh? Sounds kind of modern, solely, like a lot of it is in dance, but you have that in a later era. This is cultivated a lot. Like we have C major here, okay? We start with that. Let's see. Oh, hey, what is that? It's B flat with, we have the A flat here on top here, and the G. So what is it? It's, you can say it's the B flat, 7, 9, sus4, and the 13, B flat, 13, also known as the 6th, but in, we would call it the 13. You see, it's full of tension. Is it called suspended or sustained? You know what I mean. Full of tension. We don't resolve to the B flat 7. We go like this. We stay like this. We go from this straight to the A flat 7, 9, sus4, and 13. Same thing. It's parallel. Here, also known as. Here we could say. Sorry, forgot that. It's the A flat major 7. You see, with B in the flat, with B flat in the bass. Like, okay, that's the easy way to describe it. And here, it's also A flat 7, 9, sus4, 13, or also known. Just take the go one whole step down and build the major 7 on it here, and that's the G flat major 7. Is that a lot to ask? Come on, make an effort. So we have C. And now listen to this. And there we are again. C, a G, 7, 9, sus4, and a 5. And we have this totally sustained sound. And it does not sound like rocket science to you or like free jazz, huh? You know the sound. It's familiar from radio. Or here, C with a 9 even. Wrong note. And then if you want to play arpeggio and you're really good, you play just these root, fourth, fifth, root. Same. Or, but you don't have time anyway, and just play it very regularly. You know this from also from acid jazz. This kind of sound, like from you could hear this from who did Always There. Lost my when I speak to you, I lose half of my brain. Okay, so and I will probably make another tutorial if you like this one, where if you accompany like a dancey or disco track, I show you different patterns, like like or okay, give me a like, and we will do something like this in the future. I hope I could enrich your insights, and hope you had some fun. See you in the next one. Subscribe. We're doing so many styles here. It's your one stop.